Hey guys, welcome back to Distribution Class with Jay. We're here with Christy Savage, and she's going to tell us a little bit about her life and what she does and how she distributes her features.
All right,
Christy.
awesome. So, should I just introduce myself?
Yeah, tell us what you do.
I'm Christy Savage. I am a producer and a cinematographer, and I work primarily with my husband, who's a writer and a director, and we are TFO Productions, and we have a great network of local people that work with us.
So what's TFO Productions?
It's short for Trash Film Orgy, but it was more, less orgy. So it was better for the actual business name.
So for the people who don't know, what is that?
Trash Film Orgy was a film festival we did at the Crest Theater for... it was, yes. We actually stopped doing it in 2014 when the theater changed management.
For like 10, 15 years?
14 years.
Okay.
14 years at the Crest.
And in that time, you got a huge email list.
We did. We developed a pretty good following and an email list and a good group of volunteers to help us make things happen. And actually about 5 years into the film festival, in fact, 2005 was when the Crest put in digital projection, and that was a big game changer for us.
Yeah. So you used to get prints and screen
We
prints?
always did prints. We always did 35 millimeter. There were a few exceptions, like, distributors would be like, no, you have to show this on Blu-ray or whatever. And it's like, okay, whatever. But 90% of everything we did was 35 millimeter. And then when the Crest put in digital projection, it was like, oh shit, we can do our own content again now. We have a place to show it.
Okay.
So that was a big deal for us.
So,
And then that was right around the same time that video stopped looking as bad as it did, like in the 90s and stuff too. So we were like, oh, this is like a perfect storm. Let's get back to making movies.
So tell us about your first feature film and how that developed, and then where you went from there.
Okay, so Darren and I started making movies together in the early 90s, and we were shooting on Super 8 then, and we actually never finished. And we actually never finished any of those projects. We may pull the first one out, one of these, because it's like this close to finish. It's one of those that, let's use that as a fundraiser for a new movie.
Yeah. How long is that first one?
It turned out about 40 minutes, which is kind of an odd length as well.
For like the first film.
Yeah, so...
That is an odd length for festival distribution and other kind of distribution as well.
Yeah, and it's kind of a weird, artsy black and white Super 8 horror movie thing. So I don't know what we'll ever end up doing with it, because we're way past that now. But it's in the vault. Someday it'll come out, and that'll be fun. And then, when they put in the digital projection of the Crest in 2005, we had a 6-week film festival. And so he said, let's do a serial that's like, with a cliffhanger each week before the feature and stuff. And so we did that.
Like Flash Gordon.
Yes, very much like Flash Gordon or something. And at that time, Tony Shepard, who does the Sacramento Film and Music Festival, he gave us a little cash for that too and said, hey, I'll help support this if we show it as a feature at the Sac Film and Music Festival this fall. We're like, okay, cool. Let's show it as a serial, and then we'll recut it into a feature and do that. And unfortunately, it doesn't really work as a feature because it was made to be a serial. So it's like every 15 minutes you've got, oh no, what's the hero up to now? Is he going to escape? And then he does because, there's the next episode. So that was what we call kind of our practice movie, honestly, because that one, the other ones were practice too, but because that one had some rights issues with sound and some just bad sound on it and stuff, and so there were a number of issues where it's like, oh yeah, let's not make that one publicly available.
so it's never been released in any capacity?
It kind of
just like friends with DVDs?
Yeah, just local sales and stuff, yeah, but it's not like available on the internet, or at least it shouldn't be, who knows. And and we don't have DVDs available of it or anything. I mean, sometimes somebody will go, hey, whatever happened to that movie I worked on with you? And I'm like, here's a copy. But that's about it. And then 2008, we made, we released Monster from Bikini Beach. And
So tell us about that. Like, where did that come from? And
that was, Darren and I just have always, we were always horror kids, growing up in the 70s and 80s and stuff, and just watching, just voraciously following all this horror movie stuff. And so that's kind of where both of us were. And I love The Creature from the Black Lagoon, and I have a big love of beach party movies from the 60s. So there was like this perfect combination. It was like, oh, let's get all these go-go dancers in this monster. Be like humanoids from the deep, but a little cheaper and sillier. And I mean, that's kind of cheap and silly, but still. Yeah. But yeah, so we made that, and that
How
was
long did that take you to make?
A lot longer than we wanted, actually. Probably took us about a year to shoot it, and that's because we got into production. We were on our third shoot. We'd gone up to somewhere in the hills at somebody's pond or whatever, and we were shooting these scenes with the monster.
There's the monster right there.
That's actually our second monster, because the first
monster?
monster, third day out, fell off the back of the truck on the freeway. Oh. And because it's set in the summer, we were shooting in the fall and in the spring. Yeah. Well, we were planning to shoot all in the fall. Yeah. But then we derailed. We had to make a whole new monster, and so then it was like winter time, and all the trees are like winter trees and stuff. We're like, crap, we can't pass this for summer. And so then we ended up picking up in the so we shot some interiors and stuff in the winter. So like all the dance party scenes and stuff, it was so cold. All the girls are like in the bikinis huddled up by heaters and stuff. But
lots of blankets.
Yeah, lots of blankets. And then we finished that in the spring, and then edited it, and then released it.
So let me
January
ask you a question.
2008.
Did you know what you were going to do for distribution, or were you just figuring out as you went
No,
on?
that was actually that movie. We made it, and then it was kind of like, crap, what do we do with it now? And so I went and I learned a lot about distribution thanks to the magic of the internet.
Can I ask what the budget was, or
that movie we made for about $5,000.
Okay.
Honestly, it was. We shot a lot of it was outside or on at people's houses and stuff. Like we had this lady with a pool that we went and we built this whole monster lair around the pool in her backyard and stuff, and we found this weird little beach out in Sutter County where we could just go and shoot all night and camp, and nobody cared. Everything in Sacramento is all like, oh, you can't be here after dark and all this stuff. And we're like, well, let's keep driving and see what we can find. Yeah.
So then what did you do for distribution on that? How
for that one, we sent out a lot of screeners and a lot of query letters and all that stuff, and we ended up.
So what a screener, a query letter to who?
To just a little bunch of distributors, yeah.
Okay,
yeah, because this was 2008, so the market was still a little more, I don't want to say stable, because it wasn't then, I don't think either, but more traditional, I think, than what it is now.
For distribution.
Yeah.
What is a screener and a query letter?
Query letter's like, hi, I made this movie, you want to take a look at it? And then the screener is like, here's the copy of it, you can look at.
Okay, fair enough.
So at the time that there wasn't, I guess, like an outlet for something like that in Sacramento. Did you think that was like related to what you were doing?
I don't know. There's always been indie film guys here, and I mean, we premiered at the Crest and stuff, and that was it was awesome. That was our first big premiere, and it's, Crest Theater, and everybody's there, and it was like, this is awesome. We got to keep doing this. And but we submitted to film festivals. We did all of the things, and then we got a few offers on that. We ended up going with Maxim on that, which was what's their other name? Their U.S. name? I forget what their other name is, but anyway, you'd probably recognize it. Brain Damage. Brain Damage Films was the U.S., but their international umbrella was Maxim, and we went with that. For international, we were supposed to do another deal with a guy for domestic. That fell through, and so we ended up holding on to our domestic rights for like 2 years, and then he came back later and bought it from us after all. Okay. And so we ended up splitting those rights and learning a lot of lessons about shady distributors. And, Maxim wasn't necessarily shady. They weren't, you just had to kind of keep on.
Was this distribution for like a theatrical release?
No, for home video primarily. What the coolest thing about the distribution for Monster though was, where this is going, is that it got picked up in Japan, and so we've got a Japanese dub of the movie, which is awesome. We had to hunt it down ourselves. They didn't send us one or anything, But yeah, so we have a DVD where it's all dubbed in Japanese, and there's like two different versions. There's this one version where the monster talks, and like everybody's got a voiceover. There's like twice as much dialogue in it, and I had no idea what a lot of people are saying in it, but it's super fun. You know, it's like we got all our actors. We're like, we got a Japanese dub of our movie, you guys.
So someone else wrote on top of it, pretty much.
Yeah,
so
there's
oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, and they put out a cover with all kinds of random girls. Nobody knows who was on the cover.
That's so great.
But yeah, so that was super fun.
Yeah.
And so that's out and about, and I think.
Was that the totality of distribution for the life of that film? Or?
Well, no, I mean we had some other, like, it did play in a few film festivals, mostly international film festivals, I think, and then again, like I said, we did end up with a domestic deal on that one a little bit later. I think that's still in play right
Did
now.
have you made back your money? Is it,
on that one, yeah, pretty much, because it didn't cost anything to make.